in this video today, guys, we're back, and today I'm going to talk about some really cool pairs of headphones that I recently acquired myself. I'm going to talk about the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless. These are a really good pair of headphones. The one that I'm specifically looking at, guys, is the one that is from Xbox. We got the Xbox edition version of it, one of the best for glory. We got all the ports on the back here, so as you can see, there's the regular USB cable, the regular wireless DAC. We got the base station right here where it shows the things about the Xbox on that and how you can also use it on PlayStation and Switch and all the other consoles. The Bluetooth capability, 2.5 gig that you can do on this, or you can change it out. It's really good range, to be honest. Very good range that you can use on this thing. Very good capabilities that those headphones can do. Anyway, boys, we are going to go and discuss about this little thing over here, which is the main product that allows me to use these headphones and everything that's all there on the desk wirelessly with my regular setup. So boys, I'm going to go and show you a little bit of all of that. Okay, so boys, the first thing that we're going to go over with is the volume wheel. That is the first thing that you see on the deck. This is the overall volume that comes into the headphone. The way how I've got this set up though, when I turn on the console, if I press into this, you can actually go on to USB input, and then you can go and switch on to the Xbox input, as it says right there, and then it will show straight away your Xbox mix. So this bit is your game mix, and this bit is your chat mix. Now the reason being why that is important, if you want to have this as a separate output, so I've got this on my line in on my GOXLR, this uses just a separate bit for it if you want to use it as a chat splitter. For instance, I've got a chat splitter that I use for when I use this as a wired setup, but this is the way how to do it if you would want to do it wireless. Okay, so I'm going to show off an old version of myself talking about the chat splitter that I had connected. Thought that this would be important for this type of video because you might not be the guy who can buy like the most wireless headphones and be able to do all the functions that I've got. So if you're the type of person though who does dabble in this stuff though and likes things like the GOXLR, you don't even need to do this like on a GOXLR. You could literally do this by being plugged into your headphone input on your computer, to be honest. If you're wanting that, I'm gonna show off a little video showing of how a chat splitter works on its own, and then you'll know the idea what it is when I'm using this for the wireless headphones. You can see right here, this one's a headphone port, this one is a microphone port. This allows you to plug in your microphone directly into the thing. And then we got the nice little audio extractor right here. It shows a blue light now whenever it turns on. You guys can see here on the GOXLR side of things though, this is another chat splitter because we bought two of them. This one goes into the input, goes into sound that goes into this little mixer over here. This little thing is designed a microphone that can then go onto the sounds of these input dials. That allows you to plug in an output source. So for instance, right, the microphone that goes to the chat on the Xbox party, the Chatlink allows me to use my microphone of its full gain from the GOXLR into the Xbox party. Well, the Xbox party chat on the full output in the GOXLR is too loud for the actual sound to go into the chat mix, then goes into the headphone. Now you might be wondering, why do you need this little box over here, which is the little mixer, when you've already got the big mixer that's in front of you and you're using another thing like that? I think the easiest way we do this right now, chat, is to actually do a little voiceover. I'm going to put a diagram on the screen. So the way how the Chatlink works is one wire is chat splitter that goes right into the controller. So that's the part where you see the one prong that then allows you to use the two other prongs, which is the microphone and the headphone, just as I said beforehand. And you plug the headphone bit into the line in on the GOXLR, and you plug in the line out into the microphone output. Now by default this becomes like a full gain where it's like overpowered for the microphone, and that's why we got the little mix amp, because the mix amp you actually to use it on a lower percentage, so then you can use its full output on the sound that then gets produced into the actual video. Now why this is important is because on the GOXLR it's good to have the full line out, because if you actually go even
further down on that line out, your signal's going to be a weak signal. And yes, even though it's like just as powerful or just as much, it's not going to actually sound like natural to the people when they're going to speak to you, because you sound a little bit robotic more than anything else. What my niche idea is to use another chat splitter, but now I actually got myself it as a double aux splitter, and I put that into the line in on my GOXLR, and it allows me to split two separate signals, so I can put in my Alexa as well as the headphone input that was on that. The way how to do this without there then being any buzzing sound or sound like your Alexa is coming from a radio, the best thing to do is to grab a ground loop for this.
The audio options that I have on this though, here is my equalizer. I made it as a custom profile. I'll put a link in the description to another YouTuber that I went and copied for his settings. He goes like really deep into like all the different settings. The main thing is what type of sound works for you. The gain of the audio, so this is basically how loud the sound is coming back into your headphones and your headset. So because I am a person who doesn't like the sound so much, like when it's like really loud, I've got it on a low gain. ANC option, this is what you can control on the back of your headphones as well as on the DAC. So ANC on, this is when it actually plays noise into your headphones to be like noise isolated essentially. So it can be good for if you wanted to use Bluetooth on the go, more than if you would want to be gaming. But of course, if you're like an editor like me and you want to like be able to focus on what you're doing, you can easily focus on what you're being able to do. Transparency mode, this is the ability of listening everywhere around you. You can hear snapping, you can hear like a whole bunch of stuff that goes on. Side toning, this is basically how much feedback is then into the microphone. So if you're a person who really likes to listen to themselves, I do for instance, I've got the side toning all the way to high because I love to hear the sound of my own voice. The reason being why that is why I don't have it on the GOXLR is because I had to untick the thing on the GOXLR, because if you have it ticked on the GOXLR, it makes this feedback loop. Audio options, this is the mic volume, so this is how loud your actual microphone on your headphones is, so it doesn't like affect your actual microphone on your normal thing. But yeah, you can change that to whatever type of thing you want to. Beforehand I had this on 6, and the reason being why that is because I've got my gaming laptop on all the time, right? It makes a big fan noise. By default, the thing picks up on that sound, but if you've got the Steelsires software, you can go and fine-tune the microphone on your headphones and make it sound essentially where there's like no noise that's coming from the thing. Make it sound a lot better. Wireless, this is the 2.4G, so this is pairing the headphones. So automatically when you're in this, you're already paired to the headphones. So I'm not gonna show you how to pair the headphones. You want to know how to pair the headphones, you simply, when you go into this, you click on pairing mode, you hold down the button on your power button on the headphone, and you wait until it's flashing. When that's happened, you click on the pairing mode, and then it automatically pairs for you. Same thing goes with the Bluetooth mode. The speed mode of this is if you want it to be prioritized to speed, or if you want to prioritize it to range. For instance, I'm not really going to be walking that far other than to my bathroom and back and such like that, and so I don't think I really need this on range, so I'm using it just for speed at the moment. Bluetooth, this is whenever you turn on the headphones. Do you want Bluetooth to be on by default? Do you want your mic to be on muted automatically? You can clear a pairing of what's happened with the Bluetooth and change what is going to be connected to it. Line out, this is where you can either change it on speakers or change it to stream. I've got it on stream, and I've changed the thing from the aux all the way out, which is the sound that comes out of the line out, so it would be like as if running through a cable. Then we got it on main.
The aux output is just as if you would put in anything that's back into the sound on the DAC. So for instance, because I'm using the GOXLR and the GOXLR can use a full output range onto the headphone output, I've actually gone and changed it now on my DAC, with the middle one turning it all the way down, because if I turn it all the way up, then makes a double frequency sound where you get 2 sets of sound from its highest ability. The main is just this mix of the actual sound that goes into the thing. So for instance, you're having this as just the Chatsplitter type of mode where it's just on the chat. You want this to be all the way at 100%.
The mic, the reason being why I have this turned down all the way off is because this is going into the line in of my GOXLR, and if I'm having that going through, it's capturing the sound of what my friends are saying and the microphone of what I'm speaking. But because I don't want the microphone to be captioned, because I essentially don't want like a double loop of like 2 of me speaking, I'd have that all the way turned down. System settings. Okay, this is where we got display. This is where you can change the brightness. By default, I had this all the way up at 10. You can change this down if you want to. The dimmed screen timer. So this dims automatically after a minute. I didn't want to turn it on off, and I didn't want to do it on nothing as well, like for the highest timer. The reason being why you want this on the dim screen is because you can often keep the battery going a bit better with a thing. There's a bit more clarity in the headphone when you're on the dim screen. Detailed versus simple. This is where it's the beginning screen that you begin to see. You see this, for instance, you see how this is like detailed, where you've got like the 2 separate things. If it was on simple, you'd be moving it from one direction to another direction. But I like the look of this type of volume wheel because of the fact that it looks like an analog system to me, as in comparison to just some lines that happen. And I like that better, to be honest. Mic LED. This is how bright the microphone is on your wireless headphones. So for instance, I'm not really going to mess with that because I want to know automatically when I'm muted, even though there's like a voice indicator sound that happens in the headphones when you know you're muted or not. But the side toning is completely the same whenever you press it twice. You gotta have that visual indication as well as that sound indication, otherwise I'd just keep the sound. This is the system. So this is how long your headphones stay on for. Because we are pro gamers, guys, we don't want to turn our headphones off like after every 30 minutes. Just turn that off, and we turn off the headphones manually on the actual buttons that goes on. The about, it tells you a little bit of information about the headphones, what's built into the thing, what you do, you know. Tutorial, that's like a restart if you want to go back and know what you're doing, and then restart is like starting over the system from like everything that you've done to doing it all over again.
Okay. I've seen a lot of reviews of these headphones, of the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless, and I'm going to say that there's been so many idiots who went and talked about these headphones just because of the fact that everybody has gone and said, get the Xbox edition of this. The reason being why I'm going to tell you about these headphones, why you don't want to get it for Xbox, is because of the fact you cannot use Xbox simultaneously at the exact same time. You can only choose one of these consoles on the Xbox or the PlayStation, or have it run through your PC. How I've got it hooked up where you've got everything all connected in the ports. Why I would recommend you to get the PlayStation version of it in comparison. If you have a PlayStation, get the PlayStation version of it. If you have the Xbox, use the Xbox version of it, because of the fact you can use the 2 different consoles at the same time. And this video is going to go even further into it, where we go and talk about how to set it up with a chat type of setup. If you have it connected to your computer at the same time, it allows you to use this microphone in a thing that's fun like OBS, and it allows you to use it with the new Sonar software that Steelsires released, and you can keep all your settings from the Sonar software onto your console as long as you've got the PC connected all the time, turned on and such like that, without having to run through cables and going through changing things or anything else like that, because it's detected in your Windows software. I'm going to tell you how to get the sound from your PC, as well as being able to use this Sonar software that is going to be specialized for you to be able to be doing gaming. Now, if you connect the headphone input into your computer device and then connect it into the line in on your base station, on the DAC, as Americans have been calling it, on a diagram, this is how to put it with the headphones into the port if you want it just to be working. If you don't have any external your device. So if you don't have an Alexa, and also here's a diagram of how to put it together if you have the thing running through a GOXLR. You then get the sound from your computer directly into the inputs of your device. Now, the reason being why I went and told you to get the PlayStation version of it if you got a PlayStation is because of the fact that it will be powering the units of the device when you're going to be doing the thing. So for instance, if you only had this one, if you wanted to play on PC, for instance, you won't be able to play on the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4. And that's no fun to me. You know, I like to take advantage of the stuff and use my multiple consoles and use everything at the exact same time. I have this going through my Xbox and the computer at the same time. So I can use a thing like the microphone on this if I want to. Like, for instance, I have recorded this twice now because I unmuted the microphone on the back of this just so then I could hear myself, but I still have in the OBS source a wireless microphone. What I want to do is when I'm streaming is I can just unclick that box of the mute, unmute the thing on the system, and then I can just walk in, walk out, and just be fine without any hassle or anything else that would be happening. Anyway, boys, the reason being why I wanted to do this is because I watched a whole bunch of videos of people talking, go buy Xbox, go buy Xbox, go buy Xbox. I'm not going to go and tell you and be that same person who goes and says, go buy Xbox for the sake of buying the Xbox edition version. Yes, this is an all-round good version of the thing to get, so then you can use every single console and device on the headphones. But it's not if you just want to use both devices simultaneously at the same time. Like I'm telling you now with the device as I'm using right now. I'm using the Xbox edition version because I own an Xbox. If you don't want anything to do with Xbox, don't bother to get the Xbox edition version. You've been warned by me. Now, this might be controversial. Buy the one that's going to work you. You know, what's going to work best for your setup. If you're a guy who's thinking about purchasing an Xbox, get the Xbox and then get the headphones. Don't do it the other way around. On a side note, boys, today is the day I'm uploading Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2 clips and highlights. If you'd like that, go see that in the YouTube description below. I'll definitely put a link into that because that was a really fun video that I ended up making and editing. A whole bunch of clips that were from a bunch of different live streams, and it was fun to grab all those clips together because it made something of an interest of what I was doing. Okay, boys, we're going to talk about the Sonar software that is within this device. So guys, as you can see here, this is the master volume. This would be your regular dB and everything else like that. You've got your game volume that would be here, your chat, and your input microphone, and you just decide what type of level you want the stuff to be, so you can decide like how loud the thing's going to be, enter a value like how much louder it is. What do you want to prioritize, your chat, or do you want to prioritize the game? You know, prioritize both. So you might want to do this one, and then there ends up being no game, and there ends up being just the thing. So you see how that these are different. These are not going to, these wouldn't be here for you guys, but because I've got a GOXLR, it's the reason being why they're labeled as like system and all the other things. You'll have like something a little bit differently along those lines, something a little bit more basic. The main thing that you want to go, what you want to look at is here on the Sonar software is game, and then you can see there are presets that are already here that you can change your footsteps and all the different frequency ranges, so whatever you want them to be. So you can have Minecraft, you can have your Fortnite, you know, you can have everything that's already here within the configuration, and it makes it be more fun like when you're doing stuff. For instance, you see how I've got here, I can change it to console if I want to on here. Oh, actually no, I can't. I guess it's just game. Okay, since this little recording bit, I've actually gone into the Sonar software, and I've figured out that if you go through the Sonar software, you just want to change this bit to the actual headset that's on the SteelSires headphones, because it's only designed for SteelSires headphones is this Sonar software. So if you have anything else that's not the SteelSires product, I'm sorry. You can also use those type of headphones, because for instance, SteelSires did release their base station just for the wired version as well. So you can put essentially any wired headphones with its base station, so then you can be able to choose whatever type of things you want on it. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you're using this software. And also this software is like in beta at the moment, so I'm hoping for some more updates with it, so then I'll be able to know a bit more with it. And I think it'll be a really good software personally, like to see how that you can change the sound on what people are hearing and such like that, even without changing any of the audio preference of what's happening in your stream. Or if you are a streamer, it would change the thing. For me, for instance, because I've got the GOXLR as a separate output instead of on the main input, because the main input is not going to be the headphones. The main input is just the GOXLR. It will only be affecting me essentially with the headphones, which is something really fun and something really good if I personally say so. But for instance, right, if you just thought this was a headphone line out or so like that, right, if you put it on the headphones on Arctis Nova Pro, right, which is the ones that you're going to be using when you have it plugged into this, from the headphone input on your computer and have it plugged into your line in, you'll be able to hear the sound that then goes into this, and then you can go into the game mix and then put on your type of EQ, whatever you want to do for that game. So it's something really fun, if I do say so myself, but I'm just going to leave that as default. I don't really want to mess with those values or anything else like that. You can also change all the different things to whatever stuff you want for your friends. So if you want them to sound like they're walkie-talkie like, or if you can't ever hear them, you want a clarity of that, you know, it'll go and do that. I really like this type of software idea. It's something that things lack in for the most part. And then you can also change the microphone on this as well. It's got a little microphone record test too. For instance, I'd put this microphone in your input as your headphones for this. It would be the microphone of the Arctis Nova Pro wireless right here. So then that would allow you to be able to use that microphone on your device. In this video, guys, I will show you how to connect this wired to your headphones. So if you're wondering, Chatsplitter goes straight through your controller. It goes from the back of the GOXLR into this. In the GOXLR software, I will show you right now. If you go into routing, it's on the line out on the microphone page that then allows you to have the microphone. Once you go into setting up an Xbox party, you want to go into audio settings, and then you see headset volume. You want to turn this all the way up, and you want to turn headset chat mix all the way to the player. Now, once you've done that, boys, you go into settings. You want to go into general and go into volume and output. Change this to HDMI, stereo and compressed. Go into here, change the party overlay to headset, and then go on to mono output and just put that as that. Now, the reason being why you want mono is because then it's a full frequency that's coming from the both sides of your ear cups, and it sounds like a natural speaking tone. That's it as far as the wired version of this setup goes. And now I will tell you how this goes with the wireless version. Now, boys, I'm going to show you the wireless version of this headset. You saw how beforehand on the chat how we had the thing set up. Well, this one's a little bit similar to how to set it up. So what you do, you go onto the audio output when you hold down the button, and you go into use input and then change the input as Xbox. Then it will show a Steelsires logo over the box. And then what you want to do is you want to press onto it. It should then show the game mix and the chat mix automatically. So if I go and speak now, as you can see, when I unmute the button over here, it toggles. If we go and take these off, if you can see here, if I press this button, as you can see there, that's the LED indicator showing that it's red. Then we can press it again, then the microphone is on and it's showing that what we are doing. This is a fully retractable microphone. If you want to set this up though properly, is you have to go into audio settings. So here would be the audio configuration. If you go on the volume box, that's the thing that changes the ability of turning up the sound and turning down the sound. And then also if you go on to mix, that's the ability of changing the thing to the correct chat, whether you wanting it to be so much loud or whether you wanting it to be like so much far and tinny. This is the exact same thing though. When you go into the settings tab, you want to go into general and go into volume and output. Change this to HDMI, stereo and compressed. Go into here, change the party overlay to headset, and then go on to mono output and just put that as that. And then you should be all ready to go and should have the sound automatically working with your GOXLR. What you want to note though is when you're in your GOXLR, you're going to see the line in port, right? And this bit you actually want to turn off for the headphone port. Now, the reason being why I still have this turned on is because I've actually got this set up as a toggle output, as you can see here, where I've got it mute to phones. Now, the reason being why I've done this is because I've got two output devices, one being the headset, which is this, and the second output device being the Alexa, which I like to use that for whenever I'm listening to any music or anything that I want to do on the fly. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. If you guys are new to the YouTube channel, please do remember to like and subscribe. Hope to see you around later. Goodbye.